the morning.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a beautiful Tuesday and we have a ton of crazy Genoa City drama to unpack. I hope you all have your coffee ready because things are getting intense. Let's just jump right into it. So let's talk about Jack Abbott first. Jack is finally pulling back from Nikki Newman, and honestly, it is about time. You guys know Jack has this massive savior complex when it comes to Nikki, and he has always been the one she runs to when Victor is being, Victor, but Jack is finally realizing that his farewells and his distancing are necessary. He is actively making the choice to pull away from Nikki because he doesn't want to hurt Diane Jenkins Abbott for another single second. And I think Jack has finally truly understood that Diane's love for him is just too big to. She has fought tooth and nail to get back into his good graces, and the tension between Nikki and Diane has been escalating so much lately that it was making Jack incredibly uncomfortable. He was stuck right in the middle of these two women, and let's be real, nobody wants to be in the crossfire of a Nikki. And you can see how much it was weighing on Jack. He is lying there in that hospital bed, recovering from a literal stab wound, and he is still trying to manage the emotional real estate of the women in his life. But he knows he has to draw a line. So Kyle Abbott and Victoria Newman end up coming back into Jack's hospital room. It's this weird mix of Abbott and Newman energy in there, which is always a recipe for disaster. And then, of course, Diane walks in. The timing is just classic soap opera time. She walks in right at the exact moment that Jack is reaching his hand out to Nikki. You guys, the tension you could cut with a knife. Diane sees that hand reach, and you can just see the instant flare of jealousy in her eyes. I mean, who wouldn't be jealous? She has been terrified of losing Jack. She just survived a crazy hostage situation with Dr. Markham, and now she walks in to see her husband reaching for his ex-wife. Diane's mind was probably racing a million miles a minute. She was probably ready to absolutely throw down right there. She has always felt threatened by Nikki's connection to Jack, and seeing them having this quiet moment together was almost too. But then something completely shifts. Nikki turns around, and when she turns, Diane suddenly sees the heavy bandages covering Nikki's eyes, and it stops Diane dead in her. The shift in Diane's face was wild to watch. All that burning jealousy just instantly melted into this polite, almost awkward concern. Because how do you yell at a woman who just had major eye surgery and might be going blind? You don't. You just swallow your pride and act like a civilized human. And maybe I'm being too harsh on Diane. Maybe she really did feel bad for Nikki in that moment. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. Diane realizes that this isn't the time for a catfight. So the women actually treat each other very politely, which is almost weirder than if they had started screaming at each other. Nikki takes the high road and says she is just so genuinely glad that Diane and Jack are okay after everything Patty Williams did to them. And Nikki means it. Because Nikki knows that Victor is the one who brought Patty back to town, so she probably feels this immense, heavy guilt about the fact that Jack almost died. Diane, for her part, keeps asking over and over again if Nikki's okay. She is acting super concerned, asking all these questions about the bandages and the surgery, and Nikki finally just reassures her that she is going to be fine. It was this bizarre moment of peace between two women who usually want to rip each other's hair out. Because let's not forget the absolute nightmare they all just survived. Last week, Patty Williams was running around in a nurse's outfit with a syringe full of digitalis, trying to finish Jack off and then jabbing it into Diane's neck. It is a miracle that Jack and Diane are even breathing right now. So maybe that shared trauma is making everyone act a little soft. Nikki knows how close Jack came to dying, and Diane knows how close she came to dying. So they have this polite little exchange, And then Nikki and Victoria finally leave the room. And then after a little more chatting and some family time, Kyle decides to leave Jack's hospital room too. So finally, it is just Jack and Diane. The doors are closed, the monitors are beeping quietly in the background, and they actually get to have a moment. And it's sweet, it really is. Jack shifts over and makes room for Diane to crawl into the hospital bed and cuddle with him. After all the screaming and the crying and the blood and the poison, they just get to hold each other. They are both just so incredibly happy to be in each other's arms. You can see the relief washing over both of them. Jack has been apologizing for weeks about the whole yacht disaster with Patty, and Diane has been holding on to so much anger, but right now, none of that matters. They just want to look forward. They are talking about making new memories in the future and making up for all the lost time. 25A. It is exactly the kind of romantic reunion the fans on social media have been begging for. The writers actually gave us a moment where these two can just breathe and be a couple without some psychopath. But of course, because this is the young and the restless, the peace cannot last. While they are cuddling, Diane brings something. She tells Jack that she noticed something is off about Kyle. She doesn't know exactly what it is, but a mother knows her son, and Diane can feel that Kyle's energy is just wrong. He is too quiet, or too intense, or just hiding. She senses the darkness creeping up in him. And what does Jack do? Jack completely brushes it off. He tells Diane that it is probably just all the recent trauma. He says time will heal Kyle's wounds and that they just need to give him. Oh, Jack, you naive fool. What were they thinking making Jack this blind? Jack honestly believes that Kyle is just stressed about the stabbing. He has no idea what his son is actually up to, because we know what Kyle is doing. We know that Kyle is secretly visiting Patty Williams in her jail cell. Kyle is literally trying to strike a deal with the psychotic woman who just tried to murder his. And why is he doing it? Because he wants to destroy Victor Newman. Kyle has decided that Victor needs to pay for unleashing Patty on their family, and he is willing to get into bed with the devil to make it happen. Kyle is acting more like a Newman than an Abbott right now, and Diane's maternal instincts are screaming at her that something is wrong. But Jack just waves it away. He is so wrapped up in the glow of having Diane back in his arms that he doesn't want to look at the ugly truth. He doesn't want to admit that his son is spiraling down a dark path. Jack thinks the worst is over now that Patty is locked up and Dr. Markham is on the run. But the truth is, the nightmare is just changing shapes. Kyle's thirst for vengeance is going to blow back on all of them. And Jack is going to regret not listening to Diane when she pointed out that Kyle was acting strange. I mean, seriously, how long can Kyle keep these jailhouse visits? Patty is completely on him. She is not going to keep quiet if it benefits her to blow Kyle's cover. And if Victor finds out that Kyle is plotting with Patty to take him, Victor will crush Kyle like a bug. Victor is already furious that Adam and Kyle are messing with his subsidiaries, and if he finds out Kyle is trying to use Patty against him, it is going to be an all-out war. So yeah, Jack and Diane are having this beautiful, tender moment in the hospital bed, talking about the future and making up for lost time. But there is a massive storm brewing right outside their door. Diane's jealousy over Nikki might have faded when she saw those bandages, but her fear for her son is just starting. And Jack's blind spot when it comes to Kyle is going to cost them dearly. I was thinking about this a few episodes ago, how Jack always seems to miss the warning signs until it is too late. He missed the warning signs with Patty on the yacht, he missed the warning signs with Victor's fake AI evidence, and now he is missing the warning signs with his. It is frustrating to watch, but it makes for great television. You just want to reach through the screen and shake him. Wake up, Jack! Your son is turning into a villain! But for now, I guess we should just let them have their cuddles. They survived a crazy week. Diane survived being locked in a room by a creepy therapist, and Jack survived a knife to the gut. They deserve a few minutes of peace before the next bomb drops. And trust me, with Kyle plotting in the shadows and Victor pacing around the ranch, that bomb is going to drop very, very soon. I just hope Diane keeps pushing the issue. She is smart and she is observant. If Jack won't look into Kyle's weird behavior, maybe Diane will do some digging of her own. And if she finds out her son is bargaining with the woman who tried to poison her, oh man, the fallout is going to be epic. Anyway, that is all I have for today's recap. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Jack is being too naive about Kyle? Do you think Diane's concern for Nikki was genuine or just sound off below? And I will see you guys in the next update.